youtube.com/privacy notice, and you may take a look at that so that you can see what we do with the video. It essentially just tells you that all we do is send it to you.
Okie dokie.
Okay, great. Have you ever done immersion scenario before?
No. So my question was, would I be able to share my screen or no?
Typically, no, you would not be able to. Now, is there a way for you to accommodate the lesson is there a way to accommodate the lesson?
If anything, I have a backup. I can screen mirror on my TV and
Okay. Okay, perfect. Then yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Today, just to kind of talk logistics about the session, we'll have about 15 minutes in the simulator to run the scenario. Time permitting, we might be able to run through portions of the simulation again if you so choose. At the end of the scenario, I will come back and I will guide you in a reflection of your experience. Now, if at any point you need to stop for any reason at all, especially since this is your first time, if you feel overwhelmed or if something happens and you get stuck, say pause simulation. Pause simulation will prompt me to come back and we'll talk through it, okay? And then we'll just jump in wherever you left off when you feel comfortable.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. A couple things to know about the kids. They can write, they can raise their hands, they will pair up if you ask them to do so. However, if you request that they do something that is outside of the capabilities of our program. So let's say, for example, you ask them to pick the iPad up off the table. That's something they can't do. They will say, Principal says we can't do that. That's just your cue to move on. It just means they won't be able to do whatever it is you're asking them to do, okay?
Okay.
Now, if there are any technical problems, just call for me. Again, my name is Nina and I will address it. Now, are there any specific accommodations that you are adding or that you've kept in mind for this interaction?
For accommodations, I created a lot of visuals to cater to the students' needs.
Great.
I was gonna ask them to group up, but I didn't know if that was a thing, but now I do.
Good.
Okay, so I think yeah, that's good.
Good. Good, good, good. I think that those are both really strong tactics that work really, really well, especially in accommodating Nate. Just keep in mind, Nate is the only student that has autism spectrum disorder in this classroom, okay?
Okay.
All right, great. Any last minute questions before we jump in?
No.
All right. Well, good luck. Have fun. Remember, this is a training simulation, so take this opportunity to try new approaches, stretch yourself, and feel free to call on me if you have any questions.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. See you soon. Hey.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to class. I'm so
Hi.
glad to see smiling faces. My
What's your
name is
name?
Miss Phillip. I'm glad you made it. So, as you know, in the real world, we have the law, which is the way of the land. That's how we ensure that there's peace, justice, and order. So, in
Mm-hmm.
my class, we're going to have some classroom procedures and rules, okay?
Okay.
So, let's show those to you. I have them projected on the screen over here. As you can see, that's how you spell my name, Miss Phillip.
Oh, that's fancy. I like that.
Yeah. All for you guys. So, these are going to be my class.
Miss Phillip, your Bitmoji is awesome. I like your Bitmoji, and it's got real nice hair too, like yours. I like that.
Thank
That's pretty
you.
good. You gotta show me how to do that.
Thank you, Ethan. You're awesome as well. We can work on that as a class and we can add you guys in later on, okay?
Yeah. All right, I'm here for that.
All right. So the first rule in our classroom is that we are definitely going to be using our hands. We're going to raise our hands whenever we have a question or we want to share something. That way no one gets ignored and I don't miss whatever beautiful opportunity we have to share information, okay? The
All
next
right.
thing I have is that I definitely want you guys to ask questions. Always very important to ask questions. If you're lost, you don't know what's going on, we do cover some heavy topics in our class because we're one of those strong achieving classrooms. So make sure you ask questions as we go along, okay? The next thing we have is to work quietly. We do have other peers in the classroom next to us, so we don't want to be too loud, even though we're having a good time. The next thing I also ask is for you guys to be friendly. We're a classroom, therefore, we are a team. We work together and we learn from our mistakes. So if you make a mistake today, don't feel any type of way. We're just going to go back and cover it, and there's always a chance to redeem yourself. And then I also want to ask you guys to be very helpful to each other. If someone's stuck, don't be afraid to, help them along if they have a question. And make sure that you keep the place clean. We don't want a little crazy classroom. We don't need
Okay.
anybody falling over anything. Yes, Jasmine, did you have a question?
Oh no, I just said okay. I agree. I totally agree that the classroom should be clean. I hate when places are messy.
Miss Phillips, did you know that the sun is over 300,000 times larger than the Earth?
I had no idea, but I do know
Mm-hmm.
that the sun is a star. And Nate, I have something really cool to show you later, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Because let's just move on. I think we have our rules in place, and the main one I want you guys to do is enforce that raising your hand. And don't forget to do your best, work hard, and be creative, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's move forward. So today we're going to learn all about defining and identifying personification as it relates to figurative language. Like I said, we're going to cover a heavy topic. Figurative language is a type of English language arts that we're going to focus on today. We did cover a little bit of that before, where we talked about idioms, metaphors, and similes. So today we're going to focus on personification. So then we're also going to research a specific planet in our solar system, which is really cool. And then we're going to apply that by using personification to synthesize knowledge and use it as a creative tool. So let's just jump right in. Okay. Oh, there's a portal in our classroom. That's
What's
really
that? What's that? That looks like a black hole. Did you
it
know?
is
Did
a
you know
black
that?
hole, a
Did you know
literal
that if
black
a
hole.
star passes too close to a black hole, that it can be torn apart? That sometimes, and that's why there's no stars in the immediate vicinity.
Exactly. Do you know how many black holes we have in the Milky Way, Nate?
I do not know the exact number because I know that scientists are still counting because they want to make sure that we get an accurate representation. And there's other spots that they don't know what they are.
You are so correct. And there's other galaxies out there. But let's move forward. So, inside of our black hole, we are going to introduce the concept of personification. Like I said, personification is a type of figurative language. Does anybody in the classroom know what personification is?
I think.
Give it your best shot. Yes, Ethan.
Well, is that when like, hmm, is that when like you like make sure that like I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. I thought I could take a stab
Okay,
at
you
it.
tried. And then I saw that you had your hand up too,
Yeah,
Jasmine.
I did. Okay, so like, is personification like? Is it like when you like say that something like acts like a person, but then they like are not a person? It's hard to explain, but like that's what I think it is.
Okay, so you're onto something. So as you see, the root word of personification is person. It's giving human-like qualities to an inanimate object. So
Oh, this is
giving
cool.
human-like qualities to inanimate objects or objects or animals. As you can see, our example here is the sun danced in the afternoon sky. So you see our dancing sun. Does the sun normally dance?
No, the sun cannot dance. The sun does not have legs or arms or nor does it have ears to hear the music. So
Exactly, Nate. Thank you so much. So the sun doesn't dance, humans dance. So that's an inanimate object. The sun is an inanimate object, meaning, let's explain that word a little deeper
hmm.
because that's one of our vocab words. Inanimate is used to describe something that is lifeless or incapable of being alive. So we're giving human qualities to something that is lifeless or incapable of being alive, especially not in the human or animal sense. So that's why I chose today's theme as space.
I like
Because
space. I like space.
space is one of my favorite things, and I love aliens too. So
Oh,
this is
aliens
a
are pretty
great
cool.
example of an inanimate object. This is Mrs. Potts. I don't know if you've ever seen Beauty and the Beast,
I
one of my
saw it.
movies, but Mrs. Potts is a perfect example of an inanimate object. I just happen to have this kettle.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you. So with this kettle, does it have any legs or arms or a mouth or eyes or a nose?
No.
Nope. Does
No,
Mrs.
it doesn't have one.
have a mouth, a nose, and eyes?
Yeah, she does.
Does Miss Potts talk in the movie?
Yeah, and then her little teacup kid, he talked too.
Oh, you mean Chip?
Uh-huh, yeah. Oh, you have a mug.
Okay, so you see how Miss Potts has human like qualities? That's just personification. In real life, So that's just using it figuratively. In real life, this is an inanimate object. My kettle does not talk to me, nor does it smile at me or wink at me or dance on the stove. It's just a tea kettle. So that's a perfect example of how an inanimate object can be amplified with personification, like Miss Potts. We can use terminology or figurative language to explain something, saying that it is alive when it is not, by giving it human like qualities. So I have this cool video for us to watch. It's going to be all about personification. Oh, is it not working? Hold on. Sorry, we're having some technical issues.
No, babe. You're fine.
Let me get it
Miss
again.
Miss Phillips, Miss Phillips, Miss Phillips. So I have a question because the teapot cannot talk. Your teapot cannot talk, but I also have seen that movie, and and so and so is the word because the sun cannot dance. So is personification the same thing as pretending? Because that movie is pretend.
So with personification, it's kind of like pretending, but not necessarily because it's not actually happening. When you personify something, you're giving it those qualities, but it's not figuratively happening. So an example would be, ah, man, today my car died. Did my car actually die? Like my old goldfish? No.
No, no, cars are not alive in the first place. They cannot. I
Exactly.
understand. I have an iPad at my house and my mom, she lets me look up space facts on my iPad, but sometimes my iPad is dead. The battery is dead. And so
Mhm.
personification is when you use a word that's not this it doesn't sometimes it doesn't make sense, but sometimes so like dead. I think I okay. Yes,
You're
I
getting the
understand.
concept,
I think
Nate?
so. Yes, I think so because batteries cannot die, but I always say that the battery is dead. So yes.
Exactly. You're right on the money.
That's a good example. That makes sense. I like the little alien dude in the corner that was sitting on your lap. He was pretty funny. Uh-oh. Miss Phillip, I think you froze.
Good to add a little bit of extra pizzazz to what we're learning. So we're right on the money. Okay. Gotta skip these ads because we don't like the ads.
No, the ads are the worst.
They
Sometimes like they're not
are.
even like for me. Like I'm like, what are we talking about?
And sometimes there's two ads. Oh my goodness. So here we go. This video is all about personification. It's loading. At Grammar Songs by Melissa. Here we go. What is person? More importantly, how can understanding personification make me a better reader and writer? Let's get started. Personification is a type of figurative language in which non human things are given human qualities. Figurative, non human. Okay, I guess that definition seems a little confusing, so let me explain. Personification is a form of figurative language, which means the words can't be taken literally or exactly. Literally? Exactly. Let me show you an example. You may have heard someone say, that pizza is calling my name. In a literal or exact sense, personification looks something like this. Reagan, Reagan,
The pizza cannot talk.
talk. Calling my name is an
Yeah, but
example
hold
of
on.
personification. The pizza, a non human thing, is being given a human quality, the ability to talk. This is what personification means. That pizza is calling my name is
Does she
figurative.
mean that she's very hungry and that she wants the pizza?
Listen, I
Yeah,
want
that's what
pizza.
she's saying.
Hmm.
People use personification every day when speaking English without even realizing it. I can't believe my car died. Exactly. This can be confusing for
Yes,
people
yes.
learning English. A car is a non-living thing, so if it is never alive, it can't die. I can't believe my car died really means I can't believe my car stopped working.
Okay.
I can't believe my car died. Now I have to take the bus. That was funny. I think my lunchbox is calling my name. Well, personification can sometimes sound funny, but good writers use it to create a more dramatic flair to writing. Let me show you. For example, I could write, the fireflies flew around at night, and my reader would get the general idea of what was happening.
But if I write the fireflies danced as the moon smiled down upon them, I send a more vivid
Hmm.
look for my reader.
Mm,
Fireflies don't dance, and the moon doesn't smile, but this descriptive use of personification gives human characteristics to both the fireflies and the
mm.
moon, creating a better image for my reader. Cool! Also, oftentimes, but not always, the personification involves the verbs in a sentence. This makes
Miss Phillips, did you know that Enceladus is a Saturn moon? Saturn has a moon called Enceladus.
things,
I
giving them
did
a
not
human
know
and
that. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
non-functional.
Nate.
If you think about it, the word personification begins with the word person.
Oh, it
So
does.
personification is when a non-human thing acts like a person. We never thought of that. Let's explore some sentences and see if we can identify the personification being used.
All right. I think that's enough of that personification video. But we get the gist of it. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. I think that helped a lot, actually.
Thank you, Deb. I was just gonna say I haven't heard a lot from you today. You've been awfully quiet.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
Anna?
Yeah, I've been a little sleepy. I got volleyball practice today.
Well, you did. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, make sure that you're not super tired. Drink lots of water, okay?
Thank you.
No problem. I used to play volleyball. I wasn't very good at it.
Well, you're a good teacher.
Sorry?
I said, but you're a good teacher. So,
Thank you so much. That means the world. I've been working really hard towards this. Alrighty. So here I have an activity for us to do as a group. What I was going to do was break you guys off, but I see that we have five, and I don't want it to not be even. So let's
huh?
keep.
It's okay. Nate's usually in my group.
Okay, so Nate, do you mind pairing off with Jasmine and Ethan?
That's okay. That's fine. That's fine with me. Jasmine knows a lot about space, and last time we talked about M51, the Whirlpool Galaxy.
Ooh.
Totally fine.
Awesome. So I'm going to have Nate, Jasmine, and Ethan in one group, and I'm going to have Dev and Savannah in another group. So, Savannah, try your hardest. I know you're a little tired, but it's okay.
Okay.
Dev, I haven't heard a lot from you today, so this is your time to shine, okay, bud?
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So, for our activity, I decided to make a list of non living inanimate objects like our stars, our moon, and then I will let you guys choose one as well. And then we're going to use some verbs
I would
associated
like
with
to
the
pick a
actions of
planet.
beings in the next column. And we're going to fill those
That's
in.
fine, Nate.
So, my first group with Jasmine, Nate, and Ethan, do you guys want to take the stars as your non living noun object?
Okay, sounds good.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, I like
perfect.
talking. Yes.
Awesome. And then I'm going to have Savannah and Deb, you're going to take over the moon as your noun slash non living inanimate object. And I
Okay.
want you guys to list some verbs associated with the actions of human beings. And then we're going to use that in a sentence. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yes, yes, I can. Yes, we can do that. Oh, Miss Phillip, we can't hear you anymore. Hmm.
Hey, are you there?
Yes, Nina.
There you go. Okay, great. We are actually getting close to time. So, I think this is a good place to call it so that we can get to our reflection. Is that okay with you?
That's totally fine.
Great. All right. So, however you feel comfortable, if you want to move the computer back, perfect. Really great work today. I think you did a great job. I know this was your first immersion simulation, so how do you feel it went?
I feel like it went good. I thought they were going to be more interrupting, but I guess the rules worked.
Yeah. Um, I think that, well, normally for immersion simulations, we offer behavior levels, so a low or a medium. The ASD classroom, we try to keep it at a low. And that is so that you can focus on the lesson, right? So this one was definitely a low, but I think it also depends on the teacher, right? If you set the expectations appropriately, especially in a low behavior level, normally the kids are pretty compliant, which you did very effectively at the beginning of this lesson. You set the expectations. I think that you also had enough content to keep them engaged, right? Which I think is important too, because if they had gotten bored, it might have gotten disruptive, right? But you
Yeah.
did a lot of work to make sure that they didn't. So kudos to you. How do you think the kids are feeling after this interaction?
I feel like they've been seen and they've been heard. I know Nate was very interested. He liked the classroom. I liked that I got some feedback from Jasmine, my Bitmoji. I did
Hmm.
notice that at the beginning, Savannah and Deb were a little quiet. So I wanted to shine a little spotlight on them so they each got a chance to give me some feedback so that I know they're actually there.
Yeah,
Uh, but overall, I think everybody was excited about the lesson.
I would agree. I think that you did a really, really great job of checking in. I think part of the challenge here sometimes is we do have teachers maybe that kind of shoehorn in on Nate, right? And so then they ignore the rest of the class. And I noticed that you acknowledge that with the other kids and try to give them opportunities to participate a little bit more when you notice they weren't, which is good. Really good work today. Um, Now, when it comes to the outcome, what strategies do you feel like you implemented well?
I feel like I implemented the concept of personification.
Mhm.
I didn't jump too much into figurative language because I assumed they've already been working on this unit
Mhm.
of figurative language. The last activity I had planned was looking at the planets in a poem. So I was going to give
Ooh.
the opportunity to pick a planet, look at the planet, specify more of the qualities and details after they did this little exercise,
Mhm.
and then apply it to a specific planet, and then make a poem. And I had a poem posted
Yeah.
at the next slide that they could see the example of how that's played out.
I think you obviously put a lot of thought into this lesson plan. So I'm really happy to see how it ended up. My next question, and you know, I would love to get your input, but I definitely have some thoughts, all positive about this. How do you
Mhm.
feel that your modifications helped you support all of your students today?
I think the visuals are definitely an eye catcher.
Mhm.
I personally like to see pretty things on the screen when I'm learning.
Yeah.
I think I just try to put myself in the student's shoes. Like if I'm sitting there for an hour, what do I want to see, or like at least entertain me wise?
Yeah.
And I think I did a okay entertainment. I tried to be relatable. I included some Disney references in there because I love Disney
Mhm.
too. So just more of like if you're not into space, I did include some Disney. And if you're not into Disney and you're more into the new social media world, I did include those Bitmojis. So everyone had
Mhm.
an option.
Yeah, I think that you really kind of covered a lot of ground here, which was really good. Your lesson was very space centric, but it wasn't done so in a way that made anyone else feel excluded because it was still entertaining, right? It was still engaging. You still incorporated points at which the class could, like you said, relate to other things, Bitmojis, Disney movies. So it was very inclusive, but also curated enough towards space to where Nate was almost immediately engaged, right? He was very attentive. His space facts felt appropriate within the context of this lesson, and I like that instead of trying to divert him away from that, when he did maybe speak out of turn or something of that nature, you're like, "That's actually really cool, Nate," right? And kept going as opposed to saying, "That's bad" or whatever the case may be. So, good job in celebrating his strengths, but also not letting it distract from the rest of the class.
Hmm.
Um, and for curating your lesson in a way that would help him learn. If you had a chance to do this again, is there anything that maybe you'd want to do differently?
Maybe I would introduce figurative language first and then attack personification because I
Mm,
I know figurative language is just there's so many concepts that fall under that category, like hyperbole and
right.
metaphor and simile. And if like the students definitely had a concrete understanding of that, then I know personification is just going to be a fun topic because when I do think of figurative language, I choose personification every time. Like that's my
Yeah. Yeah, and I completely understand that. I think it was a smart decision in this scenario to focus on personification, right? I think it's a safe assumption to make if you have 10 minutes, right? Which is kind of how they set you up. So I think that that was good and it wasn't too much of a stretch and not spending so much time. But I think that you're absolutely right. You would want to make sure that all of your students have a good understanding of what figurative language is before launching into personification. So good instincts, good instincts.
thank you.
Of course. And then, is there any single thing that you feel that you're taking away from this lesson that you could use if you had to teach a class like this in real life?
In real life, I haven't had enough like experience with getting to know the students. Like
Yeah.
level. So Savannah mentioning that she played volleyball and she was a little tired. That's
Mhm.
something I'll keep in mind in the future. That way I would actually know what to respond to that other than drink water. Uh,
Yeah.
more supportive because I didn't like I was not expecting her to say that. And then Dev, he brightened up instantly when I pointed out, like, hey Dev, right when I was gonna cue him, he was already ready.
Right.
So that's something I was shocked about too. I was like I said, I wasn't expecting the rest of the class to jump in. I know like I was looking at Nate, but I also didn't want to spotlight Nate
Mhm.
because I think that's what tends to happen in a classroom is oh everything's built around this one student, which you can do that, but I think the other kids definitely need to be seen and heard and
Yeah.
let them know that they're important. I see you. You're important to me as
Yeah.
well.
That's good. I'm
Yeah,
so sorry to interrupt. It's your connection's breaking up. I caught most of
I
what
think
you said
froze.
though.
Are
No,
you
no, no,
still
it's
there?
okay. I am still here. Your
It says
video's
my
frozen, but
connection is unstable.
it's okay. It's totally fine because
Can you
we've
hear me?
done. Yes,
Oh,
I can
sorry.
hear you now. Um, that's our time that you've got through the interaction with little to no interruption, which is the important part, right? So really good job. Um, I think that you did a really good job, like you said, of making sure that
Okay.
the students all felt included.
Can I move to a safer?
Unfortunately, because
Okay.
that is time, we do have to close the room, but make sure to keep an eye on your email for the link to the video, okay? It will come from scheduling@mursion.com. If that link doesn't take you directly to the video, look for the reports tab. It will be in the upper corner, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, Nina.
Thank you, Miss Phillip. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Bye.
You as well.